Motorsport show is the best live show on Facebook. Extremely entertaining and factual. Everyone should watch it.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 17 of the Motorsport Show.
Who was that guy?
Philip,
Who was
welcome.
that guy we just said? Hello.
That was the dude, Paul Morris.
So I'm quite relieved he's not sitting here tonight. I was so certain he was going to take over.
Actually, he is in Melbourne,
I know.
and we did have a chat today. And
That's not him on the phone.
no, that's my wife. Still has that scratchy sound in the background, but has a couple of times on the sound. Thank you, Michelle.
Bring home milk.
Bring home milk. But welcome, everyone, to the Motorsport Show, episode 17, Philip. Can you believe it?
The motor show.
The Motorsport Show.
Have you got jet lag?
I have got jet lag, actually.
Where have you been?
I went to America, Philip.
Did you?
Yeah, we discussed that the other week.
Oh, yeah. That was you.
I went to the US and we went to the final round of the NHRA.
No, you didn't.
I did, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that where you got the cap?
No.
Ah.
Oh, no, I did. Yeah, no, I did. I did. But no,
Yes, we are making this up as we go along.
Went to the US for the final round of the NHRA and
In Sonoma or Panoma? I keep on getting mixed up.
Pomona.
Right.
So I've been to Sonoma and Pomona this year.
So the way you remember it is drag racing's like My Little Pony. It's a P.
Pomona. Yeah.
Pomona.
And my wife's saying, take my hat off. Sorry. There you go.
He doesn't make a decision without consulting his wife.
No, I went for the finals and it was terrific. What a great event. A lot of controversy over there as well.
Well, we'll be talking about that later.
We will be talking about that later.
And when we say we, do we mean you?
Right. I'll talk about that.
There.
But I tell you what, I got to go to the NHRA banquet in Hollywood at the Dolby Ballroom on last Monday night.
The Dolby Ballroom?
Yeah, it's where they
That's where they have the Emmys or the Oscars.
Or the Golden Globes.
One of the three?
Wow. I think all of the three.
Okay.
And it was terrific. Switched to two, mate. And it was terrific. And what was interesting?
Yeah.
Now we've got the apprentice. Shano, can you whack up the first picture, please?
What's that?
The apprentice Shano.
Yeah.
And we'll just hold it on that for a moment. Now that's Sunday night after the NHRA finals at Pomona. We hooked it into Hollywood.
Yeah.
Where the awards were the following night.
Everybody wearing their best presentation outfits.
There's a lot of well-known people there. On the left is Brandon Bernstein, multi-time NHRA Top Fuel winner and the son of King Kenny Bernstein.
Yep.
Next to him is Johnny Lindbergh, two-time world alcohol funny car champion and nitro funny car driver. Doug Coletta at the back with the fingers up. Richie Crampton, the Aussie, and J.R. Todd, the outgoing world funny car champion. I took the photo.
Right.
And the guy in the centre...
Who is that? Wearing a tablecloth?
With the pink Crocs and the blue Crocs.
Yes, he's
Ron Jeremy.
No.
That is Ron Jeremy.
Hang on a second. Let me have a closer look. Oh, it might be. Well, it's hard to tell from...
And he's good... And he's got necrophilia.
What?
Necrophilia. Get rid of that, Chano. Pull the picture down.
What's
necrophilia?
No. What's that?
Where they fall asleep, isn't it?
Narcolepsy.
Oh, narcolepsy. What's necrophilia? Has it got anything to do with...
Tell us on Facebook if you know what necrophilia is.
Has it got anything to do with having sex?
With dead people. I see dead people.
Is that... Oh! You're kidding.
Dear me.
You're kidding, right?
I'd like to apologise to all the kiddies watching at home.
Hello, everyone joining in. Robbie Facino. Hello, Rob. Just keep working, mate.
Yep.
Get the
office is on fire, Rob. What do we do?
Yeah, Rides Down Under Workshop Wars on Saturday at 3 o'clock on 7 Mate. The first two shows been going well. Vern Norgard. Well. Hello.
Hey, Vern, what are we doing wrong? Tell us what we're
Can't
doing
believe I used to listen to you two crap on for years. Now you've turned it into some kind of entertainment.
wrong. Yeah, that's the right word for it. Some kind
Some kind.
of entertainment. How's the bike going?
David Scholderman says, rooting dead people. That's the necrophilia. So I
Is it
got
rooting
that wrong.
for
But
dead people?
he is a porn star, Ron Jeremy. Trish Brannigan, more episodes than Faulty Towers.
I'd like to apologise to my sister.
More episodes of
Talking
Faulty
about
Towers.
necrophilia. Yeah, Faulty Towers only did, I think, 12 or 13 episodes.
Yeah. We have meat here in Sibylle.
But I love him. I love him. That's my sister. She's a big Python fan.
Oh, who isn't? What else? Yeah, so
That's
that
good.
was- and Phil, I mean,
Did you bring me back anything?
no, nothing, not a thing.
And I've been away too. I was in Mordialloc.
Oh wow!
Went down to the Mordialloc Surf Club for a wedding on the weekend.
Brett Barclay says, talk about Craig Geddes. Aussie drag racer was there. Russo's as well. Craig Geddes was working on David Rampy's car, sportsman racer who had won 100 national events. And Rampy was retiring. Terrific.
Really? There's
Yep.
a bit of that going on.
Peter and Helen Russo, they qualified in funny car with a 409.
Both of them?
Yeah, with Jeff Aren driving, did very well.
Oh, right.
And Richie Crampton, Aussie Richie, made it to the final of Top Fuel Eliminator.
There you go. Very good.
Yeah. So, but plenty happened over there. We'll talk about that in the show. Ash Steers, Mark Boyer, Robin Howell has joined. Lots of people are joining us in.
Why do you pour your drink over your laptop? Aren't you worried about it? By the way, have you ever noticed this? That your laptop... Two-shot, please, Shane. Yeah, look at that. Is yours bigger than mine? Yours has got a bigger screen than mine.
That's what Ron Jeremy said to me.
And it's got a different keyboard.
That's what Ron Jeremy asked me.
All we're doing is comparing apples with apples, so...
Ron Jeremy said we're comparing plums.
What's next?
Righto, plenty. What a...
I knew this wouldn't go well.
Geez, there's been a lot going on in motorsport in the last couple of weeks, hasn't there, Phil?
There has. Has anyone re-signed with Tickford?
Well,
What can you
let's
say?
go to the next picture, please. There's a lot of news going on. There we go.
Oh my God, that's lethal. Lee Holdsworth
Lee Holdsworth
re-signing, not resigning.
as
Stupid language.
Lee is a terrific bloke, but he's got another couple of years, and
He's played himself into form in the back half of the
Yep.
season, though.
get Jugger off, Shano.
That's enough.
But
So he's not driving the bottle-o.
He's done very well.
He has.
He's done very well another couple of years. And look, I love Lee, but he's had a great career.
The first half of the
And
season, you'd wonder whether he was going to be back next year.
Yeah.
But the second half of the season, he's
Certainly done
kicked it
a
up
lot
again.
better.
So good luck to him. Truck assist coming on board of that.
Scott Hallinan, why doesn't Supercars call the Holden's Opal? Because that's what they stuff. Jesus, what fucking? Why do people keep saying that? Who gives a shit?
Peugeots.
They're Holdens, right? It's like when you go and buy a pair of jeans. They're all made in the same friggin' factory, and they have different thingos on it. Jamie Sargent. Hello, Jamie. Talking about supercars and the world's fastest supercar driver.
Yeah.
He is.
I know. You talked about it like Edna.
Yeah.
I know. You were there.
Good.
One of
good
us was
result.
there, and it wasn't me.
Chris Piastri, congrats on the last show of the year. Thanks, Chris. Hopefully it comes up okay. So Lee Holdsworth has signed. Now,
He has.
Now they've lost another driver though, and
Tickford. Has anyone seen a supercar driver? What's his name? How old is he? And what's he wearing?
let's go to the next picture, please. Apprentice Shano,
Oh, there he is. They found him again. It's Chaz Mostert.
Chaz Michaels. Now, who
What?
would have ever guessed
What?
that he was going to Walkinshaw Andretti United?
Everyone. Everybody in the pit lane.
I think we spoke about this in April.
I think we spoke about this in about 1990.
Get him off the screen, thanks. Shano's getting into this.
It's been the worst kept secret. I think technically motorsport.com beat us to the story because they were out and we weren't. So that means Andrew Van Leeuwen got the story before I did. So congratulations.
On
Andrew.
what?
On Chaz going to Walkinshaws.
No, we said it first. We said he'd even signed.
Did we say he signed? I think we were the first to say he'd signed. But anyway, and he got delivered down there on a trolley on Sunday night.
And then they put the press release out.
Well, actually, no, there were two press releases. Tickford put one out, embargoed 6 a.m. Tuesday, and then there was another one came out from Walkinshaw's embargoed. You'll never guess 6 a.m. Tuesday. So they came out at the same time, and this is the 6 a.m. media release mess, and it just sometimes it doesn't work, gentlemen. So get your ducks in a row.
And as Vern Norgard says, I did that once. I sent out a newsletter saying Garth Tander had resigned, spell checked later, and it should have been re-signed.
It is a dumb language. This does not happen in Esperanto.
What's that saying? It's about the commas and stuff. It's about your Uncle Jack off a horse or your Uncle Jack off a horse.
I'd like to send a cherry out to Ron Jeremy. Hi, Ron. Are you watching tonight?
There's a saying about that.
Is that a remote control? No, I really hope it's a remote control.
Damien Banks, Mozzie in a Holden. Yeah.
Come on, give it to us. Come on. You know what's happening? He's changing paint mostly because the outsides of the cars are going to be a lot more similar aerodynamically than they have been this year. And he's going to wear a different race suit and thank different sponsors.
So you're going to be cheering for different clothes.
That's what. Look it up. Seinfeld. YouTube it. Seinfeld talking about different clothes. You're cheering for different clothes. Same bloke. Good bloke, by the way.
Neil Venny. I love your show, guys. Thanks,
Thank you.
Neil. Thank you very much.
Well done.
We've tried, I don't know what we've tried.
We've tried everything. We've tried smothering this show with a cushion. Doesn't work.
Vern Norgard says, help your uncle. What about the Sydney team and the rumour with GRM, says Anthony Milton?
Well. Is there any flame behind that smoke?
Oh, well.
It now looks like the alliance that people may have anticipated working towards the Sydney team, the Western Sydney team, is not really an alliance, and it might end up with two people pulling in opposite directions. With a wreck each and a car each, who knows what's going to happen in Western Sydney, the hotbed of supercar racing in this country. Come on, Western Sydney siders.
Now.
Don't start me.
Now. We're just talking about, so Lee Holdsworth re-signed with Tickford. Chaz Mostert has
resigned
with Tickford, and he's left. So that leaves a seat. Now, Phil.
At what?
I am hearing.
At what? At WAU?
At Tickford.
Oh, at Tickford, yeah.
I am hearing.
What are you hearing?
That Jack LeBrock, which we've said a couple of times during the year, Jack LeBrock will end up there.
Colours? Do you know what colours?
Super cheap.
Really?
So my mail, I used to do the super cheap PR for about 10 years. My mail is that he will be having super cheap colours.
Right, good.
And it's terrific that the company is staying involved because I had heard that they might have got out of the team sponsorship. I'm glad they're staying involved. And they're going to back a young guy with a lot of talent.
So we've got Monster on Waters' car, and 23 Red is going to be
Milwaukee still,
and Truck Assist on Lethal. So and Super Cheap. So does that mean there's no more Bottolo?
By the sounds of it, we've lost Bottolo.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's unfortunate. That's a brand that's been around supercar racing for a long time. So that's sad to see one of the long-term sponsors leave, but these things happen. So let's all say thank you to Bottolo.
Thank you.
Merci.
Mark White. Great move by Todd Hazelwood going to be.
What are you?
We haven't got to that yet.
Are you reading our run sheet?
It's next. It's next.
This is the closest we get to being professional. And we've been gazumped.
Let's throw the picture up, please, Shano. No! Wrong one. Go back. No! Backwards. There!
It's the bloke with the sausage sizzle, Todd Hazelwood.
Shano. What are you doing, mate? There he is.
He's doing a good job. That's what he's doing. Good on you, Todd. And look, at the same time, this means no more full-time drive for Tim Slade. He acknowledged that on the weekend, or immediately after the weekend. But another Adelaide driver takes that slot at BJR, and they found a bit of speed on the weekend. So good move for Todd, up-and-coming driver. Again, solid back half of the season.
Now,
top 15 qualifying performances.
Now, what's the go with Slady? He was going like crap for a lot of the year.
He was.
And
let's be honest, he had the first half of the season, you'd go, this is going to be his last season in supercars.
Yeah, and was way better than that.
He is a way better driver, and said recently that they found a setup problem with the car, and perhaps it was something they weren't on top of earlier in the season, And, it went much better over the back half of the season, especially at Newcastle. We'll talk about that in a minute.
And finished the year with a podium. Well done, Doggy, the
Yep.
Slade dog. He
Gee, talk about a coveted co-driver.
Who?
Slade Dog. If he's going to be a endurance driver.
Is he not going to Matt Stones?
Well, who knows? There's two seats at Matt Stones two seats at Matt Stones
2 stones at Matt seats.
haven't been confirmed yet. So look, if he goes to Matt Stones, that's a good pickup for Matt Stone because he brings a lot of experience. But if he does turn out to be a co-driver, boy, he is the number 1 draft pick for a lot of people.
Oh no, you'd have to put him in.
If it was possible, if it was doable, that'd be great.
Have to put him in.
And popular lad.
Absolutely. He's
Yeah.
a terrific bloke. Great fun. Only bloke I know that's ever been kicked out of the gala. Actually, he didn't get kicked out. He didn't get in there. They didn't let him in one year.
Okay, let's not talk about that.
No,
Next!
he's good. He's a
Next!
terrific bloke. Now let's his sad news, but he's had a great career. Let's go to the next one, Shano. Luke Youlden.
There he is
on the left.
The taller of the two.
And with David Reynolds when they won Bathurst in 2017.
Yep. An astonishing career. 20 years as a co-driver with some of the best teams in the pit lane, including Triple Eight, including Erebus, who he won with whom he won in DR in 2017, without being a full-time supercar driver. And we are lucky in this business to get with some people, to get to work with some people you really like. I don't know anyone who doesn't like Luke Youlden, including the fans. He is a ripper bloke, and he's had a great time, and he's a deserving Bathurst winner. So congratulations, Luke, on a great career.
Yeah, congratulations,
You don't
Luke.
agree? You never liked him.
No, he's terrific.
He's
a
a good guy.
lovely guy, and he's got a beautiful family with Stacey and
Yep.
and the 2 girls,
and everybody
has done a terrific job. And you know, to see him win Bathurst with Davey in 2017 was terrific.
literally grew up in the sport.
Yes, and his dad was a long-time Ford man.
Kent, the Bear,
Yeah,
Australian production car champion.
yeah, and to see him win Bathurst with Davey, and then to have the chance to go back to back
In 18,
in 2018 in last year was.
and then to handle that aftermath. Both the drivers in that team handled that very well. Good luck to you, Luke. And while we're talking about people,
Tips me hat to you.
yeah, somewhat unexpectedly, Richie Stanaway announced his retirement after the Newcastle race. He announced that he's stepping down. He's not going to be racing anymore in anything.
Very sad.
A guy with enormous potential, a guy with great ability, and it never really fitted, whether it was partially injuries or partially some of the teams he was in. Maybe he was a little bit of a square peg in a round hole, and a guy who never really, I guess, looked comfortable from the outside in some of the public things that racing drivers have to do with media and sponsors and so forth. But he certainly he gave it a good try, and don't beat him up on social media, please.
Scott Hallinan,
Good lad.
talking about beating up, and so Scotty Hallinan, I've upset him. I thought this show was for asking questions and comment, etc. No need to get angry. I wasn't angry over it.
You
No
should
matter
see
how silly it might sound, some people like clarification, some don't read the Opal question. It's not a fucking Opal. Like, it's a Holden. That's what the badge says. It was designed for Holden. That's what it is. They call it whatever they want around the world. Like, it's not that hard. Why don't you call Mustangs a Mercury?
He might have one.
You know, right?
He might have one of his
No,
own.
it's just a dumb question. It's
He
what
might have
Ford
an
people
insignia ZB
continue to do.
getting serviced at his local Opal shop.
It's just like, Jesus, it's not even funny. It's like, it's dumb.
Anyway,
Sorry, Scott, but I do like you tuning into the show. I hope you tune back in next year.
just don't ask the Opal question.
Richie will be back when he's in a better mood, and maybe Scott Hallinan as well, I reckon, says Vern Nordgaard. Look, let's hope so. The guy has won in Grand Prix 2 racing, GP3. He's won in Enduros with Aston Martin or whatever the category they race in.
Yeah, but if his heart's not in it,
G-man, you're being baited, says Andy Tyhurst. Maybe, I don't give a rat's ass, mate. It's the last show of the year. We're having a drink, and let's...
we always have a drink.
we're always going to enjoy ourselves.
What else we got?
So let's go. Well, the news, and we
Yeah?
should say Supercars news.
Okay.
Terrific. We'll chat about this quickly, but then later on. But Scotty McLaughlin and DJR Team Penske finished off the season in Newcastle.
They did.
with Fabian Coulthard, the team won 20 races, 15 poles, and most definitely a well-deserved championship. I still believe that Bathurst, they should have been thrown out, but the rest of it, the parity shit aside, I think the rest of it, Scott drove better than anyone else.
Yep, he did.
During the year. He had a better mousetrap, there's no doubt about that, but he did a terrific job and is a deserving champion. And congratulations. And what I think is terrific about all of this, Phil, if we go to the next one, please, Shano, Ford have actually used the results in ads around the country yesterday. I actually pinched this off Betty Klemenko's Instagram. I did screen save it myself from online, but I pinched that today. But they're using the championship. That's what should be done.
Yeah.
If sponsors, manufacturers, and also other sponsors don't use what they pay for and promote what they've achieved, what's the point of actually being involved? So well done to Ford Performance on that.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those important things that, it's good to see Ford doing that. Yeah, well done, everybody. And whether you're a Ford person or a Holden person or a Nissan person or whatever side of the fence you're on, if your favourite team or your favourite driver isn't supported by a petrol company and you happen to be driving past a Shell station and you need some fuel, it's probably not a bad idea to pop in there and support the people that support motor racing. And, of course, with social media, you can tell them. You can tell Penrite that you bought Penrite oil because they support Erebus. You can tell Sharp, or you can tell whoever you happen to be dealing with, Bottle-O, that, hey, you're on the way out of the sport, but thanks for your support of the team and the series for such a long period of time. Let them know. Give them feedback.
Yeah, I used to, have very robust discussions with people at Holden over it. And
robust discussions.
Well,
what about? Was it about Opals?
No, it was about Holdens. No, but you wanted to see them use the success, and while Ford are actually using their success in advertising, Holden before the weekend promoted in their internal magazine within Holden the weekend's race, and rather than this really annoys me. Rather than using a picture of a race car, they've got a screen grab of someone on an e-sport game with a Red Bull VF Commodore with number 38 on it. Now,
38.
Yeah, it was in the internal Holden Communications last week promoting the Newcastle race and saying to the employees,
"Wow,
watch the race." And
on esports.
And no, it didn't say on esports, but it was a picture of a sim.
Was it possible that somebody who put it together thought that was actually? I mean, the visuals are so good now that maybe you can't tell esports from actual racing. But then again, if you were,
it was a VF.
You should be able to tell a VF2 from a Z.
It wasn't an Opal. Or a ZB.
Was it?
There you go, Scott. I hope you liked that one, mate.
Go. Okay, all right. Merry Christmas, Scott.
Tony Heasley. Hello, Tone. Scott McLaughlin is a true champion and a great person. Yeah, he's a good guy.
He is. Look,
check him for vaginas.
And if people have been throwing daggers at him, if you've met him,
he's a terrific.
There's nothing not to like about the guy.
No, he's a terrific bloke.
Regardless of what brand you support.
And I stand by what I said about Bathurst.
Yeah, absolutely.
That they shouldn't have won. But,
right.
He is a terrific champion and well deserved. Steve Grennan, any word if in the off-season the aero adjustments are going to include the Mustang looking more like the road car, particularly the front bonnet profile?
Probably not, because
no,
it was all done out of Ford in where's the racing division?
Dearborn, yeah,
in the US. So that'll stay the same, and they'll change the splitter if necessary in the rear bit, and then they'll come out with the best aero parity ever.
I don't think they're going far enough, Phil. They're only going to drop 15% or something, aren't they?
I don't know.
And all,
I personally, I'd love to see them drop 50, but anyway, it's just me.
Yeah, well, the drivers have been saying 30 to 40. What about Ryan's story on the Loud Pedal podcast claiming no intent to cheat Debris?
Didn't hear it, number
we
one.
haven't heard the loud pedal, but he'll continue to read off the script, so I don't think you'll hear any different.
Next up.
Talk about advertising.
Yes. What?
Get ready, Shano. Let's roll it, of course, merchandise. Here's the great qualifying poster from Bathurst
Haven't seen
that they had. And, of course, now it's been updated. So that was updated. I'm not quite sure if it's available on the team store.
You know, when you used to work for Apple, that never happened.
Do you think there'll be a couple of upset people?
Shane, get ready with the next one. I've got a few words to say to you, Gerald. Hit it, Shane.
Lighten up, Francis.
And that's a fact, Jack. Fantastic. That's from Stripes.
Oh, one of the greatest movies of all
Warren
time.
Oates, the late Warren Oates. He never played a bad role.
Is that who it was?
Yeah, Warren Oates.
Oh, where's your Sergeant Holker?
What's been going on in drag racing?
Now, we're going to get to drag racing, more of it later in the show, but
Thank God.
This is great news. Just happened on the weekend. I think it was at Valdosta or somewhere. It might have been Georgia or somewhere on the weekend. Let's roll the videotape, please, Shano. Next one. Here he is. Hit play. Yep, here we go. Larry the Spider-Man McBride on the Top Fuel motorcycle, number 1. And, Phil, you know what it's like to have about 2,000 throbbing horsepower between your legs. Here he goes. He puts the...
How would I know? It's
Ron
because I work
Jeremy
for
does.
Motorcycle Magazine.
Here we go. The Spider-Man. This guy is a legend. And look at that bike go. The Trim Text Top Fuel bike, 5.50 seconds at 264 miles per hour. And naturally, the team were very, very pleased. That's 425k.
And his alter ego celebrated by picking a peck of pickled peppers.
Peter Parker?
Peter Parker.
I
Well
bet
done.
he did.
260 goddamn miles an hour. And they are goddamn
Phil,
miles an hour.
264.
Yeah. Largely unfed. I mean, 230 miles an hour is quick on a MotoGP bike. 260.
4.
Yeah. With the 4. Yeah. I got the 4.
You
all right?
you can't.
I got your 4. Never.
You can't rob drag races of what it is.
Gerald, turn and face your accuser.
I don't have to turn, man. I'm a drag racer. Scott Honeybone, get rid of Aero altogether.
Can't do that.
Not altogether. You still want fast, safe vehicles.
You've got to glue them down a little bit.
Yeah, so there's got to be a bit of balance there, but we'd like to think that they're gonna take a fair bit of aero out and even up the competition. Now,
As for F1, you can get rid of the damn wings altogether as far as I'm concerned, but we'll get to that.
Glenn Smith said when General Motors won, the press was in overload back in the early days. Yeah. And Scott Hallinan, no, you didn't upset me. I've got thick skin.
Good lad, Scott. It's not personal.
Do you think Supercars has too much control over control parts for the cars and should be left to the teams? The problem is, I mean, Car of the Future was supposed to reduce the cost of racing, and it hasn't achieved that at all. So from that point of view, you need control. Next year they go to the Super Shock damper.
Yeah, there's a lot been going on behind the scenes. You probably haven't. There hasn't been a marching band out the front of it. I've been told by somebody in pit lane that the cost of running a car this year is down by $100,000 per car. Just on some of the minor changes they've made that have had a big effect. $100,000 doesn't sound a lot if you've got a $5 or $6 million budget, but it's worthwhile saving that sort of money. And they're putting things in place for next year to reduce the cost even further. And the teams also seem to be taking a very they're looking at the forest rather than the trees. They're looking at the big picture. And some of the people who have been voting for these changes have been disadvantaging their own teams. So look, there is a big cost saving measure, and there will be a new set of regulations out probably in the next, what are we talking about, 8 months for the new cars, and they do have to cut a lot of costs out of it then. But they're doing what they can at the moment, which is moving the sport in the right direction.
2022?
22?
22.
Will we still be on the air in 22? No,
Oh,
or 20?
We'd like to be on the air in 2020 if we can.
2020 Vision will call the show. How's that 2020 Vision? Hey, you should trademark that.
Yeah, sure.
Deborah's Vision.
Oh, now.
What?
For those people that I was going to email today, but I got a bit busy. For those people that have actually purchased a Deborah's T-shirt,
You should have them by now.
we don't have them by now because
Don't tell me. There's been a hold up. They've gone on strike in the factory in Vietnam.
no, they're getting printed here, but they're not getting printed. They haven't been printed. The guy hasn't delivered our order, but I'm told that we will have them at the start of next week.
Okay.
So if you're happy with that, the order the shirts are coming. If you're not happy with that and you want a refund, just let me know and we'll refund your money.
If you're happy and you know it.
That's the first segment for the show, Phil. And
now what?
And we've got to say our first advertiser. I think the response to Rudy was terrific, and they've booked another ad. So let's roll the ad, please, Shano.
Hello, friends. My name is Rudy. I used to be gynecology in Cuba. Now I sell car here in America in TDN Aerosol. TDN Aerosol. What do we have? We have car. We have motorbike. We have a guard dog, but somebody stole it. It's not there. I am a Cuban gynecologist and American auto salesman. I want to liberate this Chevy Impala from the car lot. I need to freemize this Ford Explorer. We are on official inspection station. Do you have bad credit? Start the revolution. People with bad credit driving everywhere. This is our address. Our phone number. Pre-qualified in this website.
And I believe that ad is working fantastically well for Rudy and TDM Auto Sales. So if you're in the market for a good used car,
TDM.
or you know where the guard dog's gone, or you need your vagina checked, Phil.
Oh, well, hang on a second. Can you imagine moving from being a proctologist in Cuba to...
He's a gynecologist, not a proctologist.
Sorry, gynecologist is Bungai, and to North Carolina, and not lining up for food, and you don't have to drive around in a 57 Chevy. Anyway, look, what a life he's had, and good luck to him.
Skippy Sanchez, hey boys, how do I get a shirt? The order's actually closed.
Okay,
but
they'll be available on eBay for $1.95.
David Cholderman, I give it 3 races into the new season. There will be a technical breach on the shock. Like the other technical breaches that others had.
Has there been any technical breaches on shocks this year?
No, it might have been on roll bars. Might have been on rear tailgate and airfoils out the back. Some team might have to borrow a couple of Mustang liftbacks off another Ford team.
Hey, speaking,
get them through a weekend, but they got checked a lot and they didn't ever get found out about anything.
Speaking of Cuba,
allegedly.
Speaking of Cuba,
yep.
Do you know which country has a Formula One race which is not near Cuba?
Florida.
Brazil.
Oh.
Shano. Let's go to Brazil. The Brazilian Grand Prix. And it was a good start, but Max Verstappen was clearly the man to beat all weekend. He dominated practice lot, dominated qualifying, and there's a bit of an altercation there. The Hasses, they've just had a dreadful season. And they've now admitted they've stopped development on the cars halfway through. Hamilton was playing chase. He was trying to undercut Max Verstappen. Didn't work. A sub-2 second stop from the Red Bull team. He was hindered on the way out by Williams. Is there anything else Williams can stuff up this year? Speaking of stuffing up, an engine failure. This time of year, you're going to get engine failures, and Valtteri Bottas brings out the SC. That causes a flurry of pit stops. Max pits. Lewis Hamilton does not. Again, another good performance from the Red Bull team. And look at this, a double Red Bull move. Max around the outside. Alex Albon behind him passes the Ferrari, and now we've got a 1-3 for Red Bull. And here's the talking point of the race. Vettel re-attacking Leclerc, having just lost that position. Leclerc looked like Ferrari's best chance of getting a podium, and this was the other talking point. Lewis Hamilton turning around Alex Albon. It would have been his first podium finish, no stopping Max takes another win. And look at this drag race to the line between the Toro Rosso, the Honda engine, and the Mercedes. I once spoke to a Honda engineer back in the day and said that uphill section, those last 3.5 left-handers at Brazil, was the best dyno in F1. And that Honda has got some steam.
Yeah. It was actually a really good race of highlights, that wasn't it? You know, we've had some shitty races this year.
The first
but
half of the race, if you got up at 3:30 to watch that race, you would have at 4:30 you would have been thinking, I'm going to go back to bed.
I was in America, so no, it was at a different time.
But the last half of that race was fantastic. It was all turned by safety cars. Vettel, once again, on the radio after that incident with Leclerc, gets on the radio and says in German and then in English, "Oh my God, what is he doing?" Well, no wonder he didn't recognise what he was doing, Sebastian. He was driving in a straight line. Why don't you seem to be able to do that? And that was 100% your fault. And the other thing that came out was Lewis Hamilton turning around Albon in Parc Ferme. Parc Ferme. Lewis Hamilton apologised, said it was 100% on him, and then didn't attend the stewards' hearing afterwards, which is admitting I've got nothing to defend. It was 100% on me. And still, even in the media, fanboys come out and defend Lewis, saying it wasn't his fault, even after he sticks his hand up. There are some talking points from this race, but a well-deserved win by Red Bull. And they've already confirmed they'll keep Albon, and suddenly that's looking like a pretty good team for next year. One more thing on Vettel. If I ran Ferrari, you know what I'd do?
What?
I'd announce that I'd sign Nico Hülkenberg, and I'd say he's one of our 2020 drivers and leave it at that. Does that mean test driver? Does that mean spare driver? Does that mean backup driver? I wouldn't explain it. And if Vettel keeps on doing dumb things like that, I'd haul him out of the car and put Hulkenberg in for a race.
Yeah, good.
And then sack him at the end of the season.
Good idea. Lachlan Craven, Phil, said, I didn't know drag races went around a bend. Well, according to the bloke in the Fast and the Furious, Vin Diesel, I live my life a quarter mile at a time, and my father got killed in a pro-stock drag race on the last turn.
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
Must have been all that nitromethane he'd been breathing all those years.
Yeah.
You've got to be a little bit impressed I know what nitromethane is.
Kingsley Edgar, Ferrari. How does Seb, a 4-time world champion, actually stuff up this bad? Because he's got a lot of money. He doesn't care. We wanted the old Vettel back, just not the one from Turkey in 2010. Is that the multi-21?
You mean the old Vettel? Do you mean the guy who goes out there and dominates races and the team loves because he's so fast? Ferrari has one. His name's Charles Leclerc.
Oh, no. Right.
Sorry, I'm Vettel. Stick a fork in Vettel. He's done.
Let's go supercars, and let's go to the next bit of fun before everyone went to Newcastle. When we're at Newcastle, Phil.
Really?
Shano, let's bring up there we go.
What's that?
That's Instagram and Erebus Girl, Betty Clemenco.
I see what you've done there, Betty.
We got eight cans of lift, and one is 0.7135. That's excellent.
That's fizzy, that is.
That is excellent.
And they're even leaned over like injectors. Very good.
Very
good.
Well,
Barry and Betty and Daniel and everybody at Erebus. Yeah, that's funny.
Brett Barclay talked that Ferrari have been talking to Danny Ricciardo, if the possibility that Seb not there next year.
Have they been talking to him? I don't think his contract with Renault would allow that. Pretty sure. Might have been talking to somebody else. And if you were Ricciardo, would you go to Ferrari? I mean, as I said in the previous show, great engineering company, lousy race team.
49 million. You want to make sure you got a bit more than that. Let's go to the next lot of highlights, please. Shano.
What is it?
And it is Newcastle, race 31. And it was Shane Van Gisbergen. What a fantastic... He just snuck into the top 10 shootout. They fixed the car. The truck assist needed a whole lot of assistance. The boost got a bit of a boost into the wall. J-Dub just cost the team's championship there for the Red Bull team with a mistake, a rare mistake.
Again, he put his hand up.
Scotty Pye making a big fist of things, and Shane Van Gisbergen from just sneaking into the top 10, taking pole from 10th in the shootout, and took another race win. A great result for the Gears.
Couple of things here. Not only did he take pole from 10th, that qualifying lap that scraped him into 10th by a bazillionth, he was red, purple on that lap. So
Yeah.
he wasn't even doing his own. Wasn't doing green sectors. He was behind going into that last sector. And I mentioned this on Twitter. That might be the best 20 seconds anyone's driven for the whole season. To get into the top 10 and put it on pole and to win that race, which he had to do because again J-Dub put up his hand after making that mistake. Fantastic effort. Second thing, Scott Pye, after missing Friday afternoon because it was a full course brown flag in operation because he was suffering from gastro. That's an amazing effort. That's what this is the secret to going fast in a supercars. You've got to drop your guts completely on Friday. Great effort and good effort from WAU.
Talking about drop your guts. Excuse me, Phil.
Running super shocks.
Now, let's also talk about social media. Let's throw up the next image if we can, please, Shano.
What's this?
Now, this shit, this is what Shane Van Gisbergen received on the weekend from a fan. Absolutely, this is the stuff, and so Shane posted it on online. We're not naming him there, the guy, but he then sent an apology note and said, "I'm sorry, I was drunk." But if you can't read it, you're the number one cheating piece of shit. You think you're good, but remember 90% of the field being holding and letting you pass. F off, dog. You see, puffed, wink ups. Like, seriously. What, thanks, Shane, pull that off the screen. What in their right mind, what moron would be pissed enough to write that shit?
Yeah, don't do that. It's social media. It's not anti-social media. One of the best battles on a street course we've seen in the last 10 years in supercars, V8 supercars as it was at the time, was between Jamie Whincup, driving for Triple Eight, and Shane Van Gisbergen on the streets of Surfers, and Shane was driving a Stone Brothers Ford. And you would have been cheering your guts out because he was a Ford bloke. And he's the same guy. He's a better driver now because he's got more experience. And again, we're lucky enough to work with some guys we really, really like. And everybody who's met Shane Van Gisbergen knows what a good bloke he is. Doesn't deserve that. None of the drivers do. Even if you don't like him, be nice.
It just the access to supercars drivers,
it's astonishing.
Is unbelievable.
You don't get that in football or cricket or tennis or any other sports.
And for some asshole, absolute asshole to write that. Oh, sorry, I was drunk.
Yeah.
Well,
you apologise, but don't drink.
It's not good enough, really. And no one deserves that sort of stuff.
No, absolutely not.
Anyway,
especially SVG. By the way, Barry Sheen medalist. So it shows what people think of him, and that's voted on by the media.
Did you vote this year?
Yeah, twice. It's 3 or 4 times actually. No. Didn't you get asked to vote?
Vote early, vote often.
That's right. I'm going to vote in the US elections next year. No, year after. When are they? Next year, November. What's next?
Let's go to the next one, Shano. Here we go. Race 32, last race of the year. And it was Jamie Whincup off pole from Cam Waters.
What a pole that from J-Dub.
Yep.
Lee getting bashed up
Lethal
early.
got out of it early. So did Davey Reynolds. Then went Anton De Pasquale. He kissed the wall and he liked it. Then it was Cam Waters. These two could have come together. Then it was boosting into the walls again by Golding and
Rubbins Racing.
Good moves there. Jamie Whincup takes his 118th. 18th?
You're the one doing the counting.
118th win. And I will tell you, here's a fact.
What?
That actually equaled him with Craig Lowndes as the most winning Holden driver in Australian touring car supercars history.
Really?
Yep. So Craig Lowndes was
118 in a Holden.
No. It's 80. Oh shit! Me other computer's in the other room. It's 80 something, 83, 4, 5, 7 or something. But they are now one and the equal for the most ever wins by driving Holdens.
Righto, and Opals.
And fuck. Philip. Yes, but
congratulations.
So
and brilliant drive.
Yeah, and that mistake the day before.
Yep.
bounce back in the most perfect way.
And that reminded me of a couple of years ago when he won the title and didn't believe it when he thought they were telling him jokes when he crossed the line, and he had a bad Saturday, and everybody thought, oh, Scotty's only got to just drive this around, and Jamie came back with the eyes on Sunday, and he does that time and time again. You can't forget how good the guy is.
That's why he's a 7-time.
That's right, absolutely right. And Sleigh Dog, good drive, Timmy.
With your Flash Roadcaster, now you can do phone interviews. Should I call for a chat, Andy? No, we've had this the whole time, and we've done phone chats on it, mate.
We did IndyCars. We spoke to IndyCar drivers.
And drag racing people.
Drag racing.
Why does WAU hate Penrite? What did we do to them this year? Says David Haddon. I don't think they hate them. They love them because they pay for the engines. Lindsay Whitchurch. Hello, Lindsay.
You know that's a customer arrangement, right?
Actually, David Haddon, what is that all about? Always name and shame the trolls. Great drive by the Gears.
It was.
Bruce Donald, all the supercar drivers are good people doing their best. Yes. THEIR though, David. Bruce.
You can stop the guy subbing.
Sorry,
so long. That's what we do. Sorry, we're programmed to do that.
But you're correct. They're terrific and they're doing their best. Good on SVG for showing us that, said Brett Barclay.
And it's not just fan access. And I know there's a bit of stuff going on in supercars telling the drivers recently to. Have we got that on our list? Are we going to be talking about that? Just be nice on social media to each other.
No, we haven't put it on there, but.
But
there's a fair bit of chat going on between them on social media, wasn't there?
Yeah. But so far as the access to that, like we talked about that with social media, but at the tracks, what you see is what you get. There's really no peanuts out there.
I did text Shane and said, what a whacker. He said, yes, what a F-wit.
But even
I will give the guy his dues. He could spell properly.
Who's that?
The bloke who wrote that abuse.
I thought you meant SCG. But people on the Holden side of the fence even like Shane when he was a Ford driver.
Bruce McDonald. Fitzgerald. Oh, there.
Fix him.
No, it's not THERE. It's THEIR. Oh, maybe it hasn't come. I don't know if you can.
This doesn't
anyway,
really,
Bruce.
Doesn't really work on radio, Gerald.
No. But the great thing, Scotty McLaughlin, 18 wins, 15 poles, not 16, 15 poles. And he celebrated in the best possible way. Shano, let's roll the next one.
So right now, the
and deserved burnout there in the Shell V-Power Ford Mustang over the Newcastle sign. And what a year and what a couple of years that young man has had.
Yeah.
Scotty McLaughlin, and he's been in the title hunt the last 3 years, won it twice.
He's won supercar races in 3 different brands and 4 different models.
Yeah.
And he's done that in, 8 years?
Yeah.
6 years, 7 years?
Yeah, something like that.
Fantastic. So, look, well deserved. There will be, people will continue to talk about what happened to Bathurst, but thank God he's now a 2-time champion because that's how people should refer to him.
Yeah, absolutely. And we talk about manufacturers advertising. Let's have a look at this fantastic celebratory ad. Shano.
That's it.
One car manufacturer has more NHRA Pro Stock victories than anyone, setting more national records than anyone, including 5 consecutive world championships. That car manufacturer is Ford. And that kind of winning performance goes beyond the winner's circle.
That's why you do it.
Everyone loves a bit of Ford probing.
So rush down to your Ford dealers tomorrow and get the
Scott
McLaughlin edition of the Ford Probe. Don't take no for an answer.
I did see a Cam Waters signature edition Mustang at Sandown.
It's good.
One of one.
It's good to see Ford actually getting all that right because I don't know how many of you have. I was talking about this before the show. I went to see Ford versus Ferrari today.
Yeah,
and there are things that good movie. Go and see it. But there are things in that like when you see the Ferrari pit crew wearing Firestone on the back of their overalls, and the drivers Dunlop. It's like,
oh,
did no one think,
continuity?
Hang on a second. Did no one think I've got to get this right. Someone actually put Firestone on the back of the mechanics and Dunlops on the back of the front of the race suit, and without realising probably they were opposition brands.
I watched on the plane to America
Yeah.
The
Ron
Art
Ron
of
Jeremy
Racing
movie?
in the Rain.
Oh, really?
Have you seen it?
No. By Shane Van Gisbergen?
No, it's about a dog living his life, and he's picked up as a puppy by a racing car driver, and the guy wants to drive for Ferrari, and he's in Indy cars and sports cars, and takes him 10 years, and he's about 35 when he actually gets to Ferrari and is a world-famous Grand Prix driver.
Yeah.
By that stage, the dog has died, but it starts at the... you got to see the movie to believe it.
And is he driving around Europe in a
Oh, mate,
in a camper van with a great big dog where he goes, Scooby, and he goes,
oh, mate, I cried my eyes out at the start because the dog... It starts with the dog dying, and then the dog narrates its life, and it's Kevin Costner as the dog, Enzo.
Really?
Mate, I love dogs, and this thing. I was sitting on the plane looking like a dickhead with tears blowing my eyes. Let's go NASCAR racing! Let's go. And Homestead, talk about Fords. And at Homestead, it was the first stage went to Martin Truex Jr., 3 Toyotas going for the championship, and 1 Ford. Truex looked to be going okay, but then they put the tyres, the special match tyres, they put on the wrong way, the front left and the back right, or vice versa. They put the wrong way around. They had to swap it. They thought that would be the end of Truex, and this is a big pit stop. He got back out there, lost a lap, but then the 36 Ford brought out a safety car, and it got the 19 back on track. Denny Hamlin, one of the guys going for the title in the number 11 FedEx Toyota Camry, had a drama overheating. That really killed his chances. But it was Kyle Busch on the last lap here at Homestead on his way to his second NASCAR title. And the number 18 M&M's Snickers Lolly Machine took the championship. And a great win for Toyota. And Joe Gibbs Racing, who had 3 of the 4 Toyotas, 3 of the 4 cars in that race going for the title.
Great effort from Bush. Do you think what's he
You
gonna do
love
now?
Bush.
2 titles. Is he going to follow the family tradition and run for president like his grandfather and his father did?
Yeah, probably. But talking about Toyota, I actually got to catch up with former Holden Racing Team and Techno boss Steve Hallam.
Oh, yeah?
In the US. He's over at Toyota with TRD, and he was out at Pomona at the drag races on the Saturday, but then had to be at TRD on the Sunday because they live stream in the vision of the race for all of the staff at TRD. Yeah. And Steve's the head of chassis development and engineering over there for TRD, and also runs the GT program. And Kyle Busch is running the GT3 and the Daytona 24-hour.
Is that right?
The Lexus.
Wow. That'd be great. He's a good road racer. Underrated road racer.
Yeah, so...
Bush for Bathurst, question mark.
Phil loves Bush. Rowdy wakes up every morning trying to figure out how not to finish second, says Mark White. Yes. Bush is a great driver, but also a dick, says Lindsay Whitchurch. He's just intense, and I think that's probably the thing about... the guy just races and races and races and doesn't want to come second.
No, and he does a lot of racing, and he would race every category if he was allowed to.
To be honest, it's like going to watch your team play footy. Why would you go and watch your team finish last or second all the time? I'm with him. I can't stand going to races.
Asked Colin, why would you watch your team finish second all the time?
I don't hang around when the team finishes second. I've got to go. It just gets to me.
Oh, you're a fair weather fan.
David Shulderman. Sounds like Driven. The Art of Racing in the Rain. No. No, it's a beautiful movie.
Driven, where they drive on an oval in the rain. With the wets on. Just let me throw some coins on the ground.
Hi from Thailand, says Moza French. Hello, Moza.
Hi, Thailand. Come a star. No, hang on.
I hope Ty's feels online too, with a bit of luck.
Probably got faster.
Mark Wife, Smoking Wife. Yes, I have. Why do Carlton fans go to the footy then? That's a good point, Wayne Nugent. Thanks for chiming in. a very good find.
They leave at half time if they don't win the Metro.
Let's go to an ad break. Shano?
Introducing the 1997 Miller Lite stock car. Sure beats other sedans. The new Miller Lite Indy car. No radio, no heat, but hey, look at that handling. And if it's acceleration you're after, take a look at the Miller Lite Top Fuel Dragster. It leaves everything else at the light. Every Miller Lite car comes with our 16-second roadside assistance plan. We say, shoot, shop, and compare.
Yeah, it's Miller time.
Shop and compare.
Lindsay said, so Brisbane is going to be better in 2020, are they, Gerald? Ha, ha, ha.
Brisbane.
Yeah. Yeah, we're on a march, I'm telling you.
Are we? Good for us.
Jeff Emery joined. Hello, Jeff. How many Australian championships has he? He won 5 Commodore Cups. He's won, three GT titles.
What are you asking me for? He's online. Ask him.
Jeff, congratulations. How many championships have you won
Can
now?
we count them without taking our shoes and socks off?
Probably not. Tell Phil, Trish Brannigan, tell Phil Colin remembers the golden years.
No, he doesn't. This is
Is that Carlton?
This is my family. No, he's a Melbourne fan.
Righto. Let's go. Now, a little bit of news here. Andra.
Yeah.
Let's talk drag racing.
Yes.
Disastrous couple of weeks for
what's
Andra. Firstly, their AGM is tonight. They're announcing yet another financial loss, $63,000 for the financial year ending in June. So that's 8 losses over the past 9 years and totals almost $1.5 million. At the same time, they don't have their office anymore, and that is gone. That's appalling, and something needs to be done about that. And on the weekend, the Summit Drag Racing Series was running at Adelaide Raceway. They text the drivers, all of the teams, on the Wednesday and said, sorry, we're cutting short the race from 1,000-foot racing to 8th mile racing because their new concrete walls weren't done. They then had a bit of testing on Friday, 1 round of qualifying on Saturday, and the timing system shit itself, and they cancelled the event. Now, this is Andra, who have just reported in their financial statements and chairman's report that they now have only 2,130 odd members, whereas 4 years ago they had 3,500 members. So they've dropped 40% of membership, and in 4 years by allowing IHRA into Australia. IHRA now have around 3,000 members, which is licence holders and members, mainly licence holders. So the IHRA Australia is now the biggest sanctioning body for drag racing in Australia.
Wow. That's happened quickly.
4 years.
Yeah.
So Sam Shaheen, the owner of The Bend, who is about to begin construction sometime next year of a new drag strip at The Bend, a standalone drag strip, a couple of weeks ago visited Sydney Dragway for the 400 Thunder opening event of the season with Top Fuel, Pro Alcohol, Pro Slammers, Pro Stock, and a full field of sportsman racing. Big crowds, because the track actually put a bit of effort into promotion. Big crowds, good crowds, great race. Enjoys the day there. He's wondering what does he do for sanctioning for the venue. Goes to Adelaide, sees a rundown venue, walls not completed, the racing shortened, and the timing system blew up. What would you do?
It's not hard to figure out. If all other things are equal, I don't know enough about it to make an informed comment. But
and I've said it time and again, those blokes that are running Andra need to somehow knock on the door of the tracks and the IHRA Australia and reunite the sport. Put the egos aside and work a deal out.
yes,
1.5 million.
Yeah, in 8 years.
I went to a great drag race. Now, let's roll the tape. The next one, please, Shano. Pro Stock, Erica Enders, left lane, Greg Anderson. Now, this was the first round, and Greg Anderson, trying to help his teammate out, Jason Line, for the championship, kept turning the car off. Jason Line, very unhappy. Anderson qualified 13th. He kept turning the car off in qualifying to try and beat Erica Enders. She went to the next round. She beat Greg McGahey, and that stitched up the title for Erica Enders, her third World Championship in Pro Stock Eliminator. A fantastic result. She got beaten in the semi-finals, and Jeg Coughlin Jr., her teammate in the elite team, was beaten off the line, but had better performance.
End of the season with a big win. Obviously, it fires a hell of a shot for Team Elite, finishing 1-2 in the points, and a big win here in Pomona.
A lot of drama over Anderson, though, trying to qualify on opposite sides of the ladder to Erica.
Yeah.
And people online going, what a bastard, what an asshole, why is he doing that? Well, he's trying to beat her to help his teammate win the championship. So, and the fact that he was turning the car off, he actually was chancing not qualifying, got through into the right spot, and a lot of drama. It was terrific. He beat her off the line by thousandths, but got beaten by 4,000ths in performance. So then we went to funny car, and let's roll the next one, please, Shano. We're rolling through this. Robert Height, left lane, Matt Hagan on the right, and Height had to win this to win the championship. It was in the semi-finals. He did a 397. And John Force Racing in the Chevrolet, the Camaro. There he goes, his third world title, and the president of JFR. Now, he came out for the final round and decided to do a massive, traditional, old-style burnout. Rolls to stop at half-track, the car turned off. I don't know why, gets out. Jumps over the fence. Jack Beckman soloed to the win in the final round, took out that win with a 392, but Hyde had already stitched up the title. But the crowd went nuts for the burnout, a proper burnout, because nowadays and it's not like they used to be.
And Beckman went into Turner Overdrive?
Yeah, they certainly did. Now let's go to this one.
Uh-huh.
Top Fuel. For the third year in a row. Let's go to the next one, Shano. Richie Crampton, now Aussie Richie, raced against the other guy who won the title. So Steve Torrance got beaten in that round, but just by racing Richie Crampton, he won the championship. That's back-to-back titles for Steve Torrance. A great result for him. So 3 years in a row. So Richie raced Brittany Force 2 years ago, got beaten in a round. She won the title. Last year it was Torrance in Vegas, and this year it was Torrance in Pomona.
They like a big trophy.
Oh, so
it's like the Stanley Cup. And did you notice they have those big medals?
Yeah. Oh, the medals are stupid, and they're not even chocolate. Now, now go to the next one, please, mate. We'll just roll this one quick again. And Richie Crampton raced off against his Coletta racing teammate, Doug Coletta. And Dougie took the win. Richie smoked the tyres. A 371 at 332 miles per hour. And Dougie Coletta very happy.
Just couldn't be happy for how it turned out today. And obviously, Connie, he was throwing everything he could at Richie's car. And great having two Coletta cars in the final. So it was a good day.
It was a good day, and Dougie bookended the season, won the Winter Nationals and the Finals. He also won the US Nationals at Indy. Richie Crampton won twice, so that's 5 Top Fuel wins in 24 races for Coletta.
Right.
The sad part, which I'd known for a while, which I couldn't say anything, is that Colettas are actually downscaling to 3 cars next year, and Richie's stepping out of the ride. Sadly, he finished 6th in the championship. Yeah. He's stepping out of the ride. Sean Langdon will step out of the funny car and jump into the drag. So they're parking a funny car. They've had a sponsor change, so they're parking one of the funny cars. But I believe he has been told that, and certainly their commercial manager did tell me that they're looking for a sponsor for the second Toyota Camry funny car, and every possibility Richie will be driving that when they land a sponsor.
Right. Good luck to him.
So
Switching categories.
yeah, and he's desperate to drive a funny car. Now, so the big drama. Now, here's the big drama in the US. So we know that Steve Torrance won the championship, but in the first round of racing, he raced Cameron Foray, who came out here and raced earlier this year at Sydney Dragway for Lamatinas. Foray running for Terry Haddock. And Foray took his time staging and then deep staged the car. Let's roll that next bit of video. This is down the bottom end of the racetrack. Torrance on the left, Foray on the right. Not very happy. Bang.
Wow. And that started with a handshake, didn't it?
Yeah, started with a handshake and it got pretty nasty.
Where's this? Austin?
No, Pomona in
sorry.
California. And yeah, Austin. Very good, Phil. So it got a bit nasty down there. And
Yeah.
it was all seen on the big screen. And when Foray towed back past the stand, and the main stand was pretty full during most of the day, the crowd went berserk for him. They thought he was terrific. When Torrance went past, so 2 world titles, 90% of the grandstand were booing, standing up, gesticulating. They weren't happy at all. So the bloke had to swallow a bit of pride. And let's go to Hollywood on the Monday night. Let's roll the next one. Here's his
Yesterday
speech.
was not one of my prouder days. So, Cameron Foray, you're somewhere over here. I heard all your fans hollering for you. I'm sorry, brother. In the heat of the moment, I got out of line. I also got to say, as Capco, we sponsor a lot of junior drag racers. And a lot of those kids look up to me. I see a lot of kids with Capco on their car. I'm sorry to all those families and all those kids.
Yeah, that hat might need an apology too.
He should have worn a white hat. No, I suppose the black hat was right because he was the bad guy.
Could have changed once he apologised.
He's actually a nice guy. And
Good. And everyone has bad moments and bad days. Put your hand up.
Jeff Emery's only won 10 Australian titles.
10.
But who's counting?
Well played, Jeff.
But everyone has a bad day, and we've got an official reason why. Let's roll that tape.
What happened?
Young bloke, cold tyres, fucked up.
There you go. That explains it.
That explains Steve Torrance.
Completely takes care of
it. There we go.
Oh, everything's going dark.
Dave Scholderman. They get the same Wally all the time. Yeah, they do. They're consistent. There you go. There's that's actually that's a divisional Wally. I've got a couple of the national event Wallies at home, which are quite a bit larger. But yes, they do.
If we ever find out who the real owners were, we just broke into a house in
Todd Patterson,
South Carolina.
But the Wallies are Jack Jones, actually, the person.
Singer?
No, there's a photo of the guy when he posed for it, Jack Jones. But the championship ones are gold, and I think when Richie won the Gator Nationals, the 50th Gator Nationals earlier this year, it was a gold one as well to celebrate 50 years.
Kryptonite.
Phil?
Yeah?
That brings us to the end.
No. Are we coming back?
The hat's too small, says Thomas Jarrett for for mine or Steve Torrance.
Didn't look good, did it? No, you need a big hat.
He's Wayne Nugent. He's about as popular as a pork chop in a mosque, but good on him for apologising. Greg Munzer, boo. Munzer, Harsuki, smart stage. Definitely do it. The bend will be IHR races, Lindsay. Great apology, well done, says Bruce Donald.
Yep.
Perfect spelling. The hat's too small, I reckon. Says Thomas Jarrett. When you guys going to cover Group N historic racing quality stuff?
Well, yeah. Sorry, what would you like us to cover? Group N or quality stuff?
Quality stuff, that's right. At least he apologised compared to DJR Team Penske. David Scholderman said, you know what? That is 100% correct. And if anything that's disturbed me about that whole stuff, at no time, and we heard Scotty talking about my car's been checked 3,585 times. At no time has he come out and said, I'm sorry. I'm sorry my car had a...
McLaughlin?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably not really up to him.
Or the team. We haven't heard the team say,
It's probably
sorry.
Probably to somebody from the team. I've not heard. Not to say that it hasn't happened.
No, but you can't say I won it fair and square. You got to come out at some point and say, look, I'm sorry, it wasn't up to me. I didn't do that, but it wasn't right. But we've been penalised for it. Comes a point in time where you got to say, we got penalised for it. I'm sorry.
I think this is a situation where a bit of time and a bit of time away from everybody in the sport and the pit lane will do everybody a bit of good, and everyone will get back together again probably middle of February to see the wheels go around in testing with some new bits and pieces, and start again. Everyone's got 0 points. Race off into the new season without too many hard feelings.
Fuck. I keep zapping myself on the microphone. John O'Beakoff says, great show, lads. Hope you come back in 2020. Deborah, so do we. If we can get some cash on, because I'm sick of paying for it all. Costs quite a bit to put the show on. I reckon I've probably invested 20 odd this year. Don't tell my
dollars.
wife. Wow. In doing some stuff, and I can't. Actually, it's probably more than that. To be honest. And that doesn't include time to prepare stuff. But anyway, that's okay. We've enjoyed it though, Phil. Have you had fun? Like we started out the year.
I haven't had fun in 30 years.
We started out the year saying, why don't we try something a bit different and have a bit of fun?
We started off the year being totally incompetent, and I think we've retained that.
We've become better at being incompetent.
We have. Look, we started off with an audience of about 3,000 people for the first show, and it's just grown and grown and grown and grown. Word of mouth and whatever else has been going on. I don't know. And some controversies, and we've probably said some things that struck some chords, and probably one of us has sworn at people a bit too much.
But called supercars assholes. Sorry, Nathan.
It has been it's been a fascinating year, and it's been a good process, and we've been butting heads and bumping into each other and having a bit of a giggle for the last 3 decades, and hopefully we can share some of that with you in 2020.
What was your favourite? What's your favourite highlight of the year?
Oh, the chat with Garth after we went off air was pretty good.
Was it? What did he say?
No. The guests we've had on, either by phone, Richie and Hinch and Rossi.
Oh,
they were terrific.
Yeah,
and catching up.
Long time listener, first time caller.
That's right. Hey, you're on the air. And catching up with those guys at Bathurst, and as I said at the time, Rossi's a little bit reserved, but Hinch is just a terrific player. And let's hope. By the way, he hasn't got an IndyCar ride for next year. Let's hope he can.
Hinch,
scratch together a deal, because terrific guy, really genuinely terrific guy. What else has been the highlight? We've had studio guests. We've had Jake Perkins and Garth Tander in, two excellent blokes, and both very comfortable talking into a microphone. And they taught us a fair bit about what to do and what not to do, and support from all sorts of people on the Facebooks and on messages, and just feedback to what I've got personally and comments you've got personally from various people bouncing around the business. We'll try and do some business, get some backing, and stay on the air for next year. What's been your highlight apart from working with me?
I think the interaction and a few people said, "Who the fuck do you think you blokes are?" But I think the interaction with fans, and we've met some people. I've pissed a few of them off. I've banned a couple. Because I don't like people coming onto my page and abusing me, so they can fuck off. Glenn Smith said it was better than sex. Well, I don't know how you're doing it, Glenn, but...
What's better than sex?
Our show. Sort the parody out 50-50 Mustangs and Opals.
Glenn, I'm sorry to hear.
Watched a few shows and thoroughly enjoyed them, says Cameron J. Thank you.
What we've tried to do is we've tried to bring a bit of our own attitude about enjoying the sport, but we've actually, despite being a couple of dickheads, we've actually got a bit of cred, I think.
Mark Boyer said, "You guys promised nothing and delivered. Great stuff." Mark was one of the two fat tradies on the block on a couple of series of the block, and he's a mate of mine.
We started with nothing and we got most of it left.
But we must thank Phil for just turning up every couple of weeks.
I've tried to escape, honestly. This is a hostage situation. Please help.
But there's a couple of people we really must thank. Tony D. Felice and Murray Anderson for helping us out for the first 6 or 7 episodes where we used the office space at Tony's factory. and Murray Anderson would stay there. The world famous chassis builder Murray Anderson would stay there and keep the doors open for us. He works with Tony. So thank you very much to those two guys. And I mean, Tony was very generous in just saying, hey, take the office space, leave your stuff there set up. And then we moved here to Fuzzy Media and to Robbie Facino and his wife Kerry. Thank you very, very much for everything that you've done. We've left this set up in the foyer of their office.
Foyer?
Well, it should be the reception area. But we've had no money to do this, and he's put up with us all the time. So we're hoping to continue with that. So thank you to those guys. Thank you to Danny and also Steve, who helped out with switching. My beautiful wife Michelle, who bought us dinners every couple of weeks, and also come in and switched. We've got Shano on tonight, one of my son's schoolmates who's switching the cameras for the first time. Done a pretty good job, Shane.
He has. He's been fantastic.
He's got a show on YouTube. What's your channel, Shano? Huh? The Shano Show, and the channel is The Shano Show? The Shano Show?
The Shano Show.
On YouTube. And he's learning to be an accountant at university but wants to be in television. Robbie Facino, great show, lads. Lots of laughs, plenty of entertainment. Don't forget to charge my batteries. I didn't know about that. You might have to ring me. Lindsay, you are the one who, Gerald, that's one of the features of the show. You and Phil are Laurel and Hardy of Motorsport.
Which one's which?
Thank you to everyone. Thank you for joining in. It's something a bit different. It's not as corporate and stuffy as the other guys doing podcasts and everything. But we've had great encouragement and conversations with those guys as well, with Below the Bonnet, with Davey Reynolds and Michael Caruso and AVL. And also the Dude has been very encouraging.
Congratulations to them, by the way. Below the Bonnet did very well, and they got one of the media awards last week, and the Dude and Ingle, of course. There are still people out there that think that we're...
the Dude's been very encouraging and a lot of fun and a lot of help. If you didn't know, our show actually got Roland Dane back onto Facebook.
Really?
Yeah, he rang me up and said...
We'd like to apologise for that.
He rang me up and said, Jesus, you got me... I had to join Facebook again. I don't want anyone to... I don't know what name he's under, but I don't want anyone to know I'm on Facebook, but I've had to tune in to watch the show. So that was good.
Well, you should actually... Yeah, you should actually... if you Google Roland Dane, there's a... we're talking about Ron Jeremy before? There's an actor in the same line of work who's got that name.
Oh, is there?
Did you know that?
No. Oh, actually.
I bet he's probably on Facebook, so make sure you don't get the wrong one. My phone's going to ring. It's going to be
actually
RD in a minute.
There's a Holden designer that's a porn star.
Oh, hang on a second. No, we're not going to talk about that.
He's a gay porn star.
We're going to go, all right?
Great show, guys. Hope you get some support and keep this going in 2020. Raw, uncut opinions and valuable insights have been awesome, says Tony Fleming. Thank you, Tony.
Thank you, Tony. Do we know him? He's our friend now.
D. Smith Field Daintree, I've enjoyed your honesty, guys. We've tried. Vinny Borgia. Hello, Vinny. Well done. Thanks, mate. Great show. All the best. Used to and staying on, says Greg Munzer. Yep. But we've loved having the interaction. Next year, if we can come back on with some funding, we're looking at, we'll go onto YouTube as well, and also podcast, and maybe do a couple of specials along the way. But the interaction and the fan engagement is what this is about, and it's live, and that's what we wanted to do, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So anyway, we'll sign off.
That's it. We'll be back in the new year. Have a happy and safe Christmas. Don't do anything silly on the roads, including you.
No. I'll drive a Mercedes.
Have a happy and... Well,
you
know what? As soon as I
can't afford it,
I thought, I wonder how long it's going to take him before he says the M word, and he just dropped it straight in there.
So Merry Christmas, everyone. Have a safe and happy New Year, and
keep a watch on the page. There'll be some. You're going to put some messages up from time to time.
Hopefully, I'll come back about 20 kilos lighter with a bit of luck. But
both could do that.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Thank you very much.
Yep.
Thanks to everyone that's helped us, and we'll see you next year.